What up, though, people? Thank you for tuning in to the Lion's Roar vlog. We are on chapter 37 of the first book of Adam and Eve, okay? If you want to catch up to where I am so far, I strongly suggest that you do, but you can go ahead and listen to this video where we are and then just at some point catch up to this video. It's all posted on a playlist on my YouTube page under the books of Adam and Eve. They are in order from the introduction all the way up to where I am to this point. Without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into chapter 37. Hit that subscription button. Hit that notification bell. If this information resonates with you at some point in the beginning, middle, end, at some point, if you know this information resonates with you and is well for your spirit, you probably know somebody else that it will resonate with, or maybe somebody who might be interested in it. Please share this information. Hit that subscription button. Get them to hit the subscription button. Let's go ahead and jump in, y'all. Chapter 37. 43 days of penance do not redeem 1 hour of sin. Ooh wee. Let's see what's happening. Then Adam said to Eve, "See thou not these figs and their leaves. Look now. Don't see only the figs and their leaves with which we covered ourselves when we were stripped of our bright nature, but now we know what misery and suffering may come upon us from eating them. Now therefore, O Eve, let us restrain ourselves and not eat of them, you and I, and let us ask God to give us the fruit of the tree of life." Interesting. Now, maybe he thinks in his mind, if we eat of this fruit, what was his thinking right there? The tree of life, because they already got told that they can't eat from the tree of life. Remember, the two trees, the tree of life and the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, you're not supposed to mess with. So why was he looking for something off of the tree of life? Why was he looking for something off the tree of life? Because the tree of life now is the thing that's going to bring them back up to where they're supposed to be. They didn't need it. So maybe it was just always a thing of testing the obedience of the brain, because the creator knew that the minds as they are created by him have the tendency to transgress. Look at Lucifer. They've probably seen this in other beings before, and it's already written that they did see this happen in another being, Lucifer, or Satan, or the devil, if you will, which are all just labels, just like God and Lord is a label for what the spirit really represents. Satan, Lucifer, devil, labels for what the spirit represents, what the energy represents, okay? So he like, man, let's maybe try and see if we restrain ourselves from this. Maybe he'll see that we worthy of the tree of life. I don't know what their thinking is. Let's continue to see what's happening. Thus, Adam and Eve did restrain themselves and did not eat of these figs, but they got given the figs because they were hungry. Remember, a few chapters ago they were praying about being hungry and thirsty. And now they've been blessed with food, and now they don't want to eat it. So it's kind of interesting, because it's like you were willing to transgress, but now all of a sudden you don't want to mess up so much to the point to where you got blessed with something. You're not even going to take the blessing. You're a little backwards, human. That's a little backwards, ain't it? Let's keep going. They didn't eat of the figs, but Adam began to pray to the Most High and to beg him and to give him the fruit of the tree of life, saying, "O God, when we transgress your commandment at the 6th hour of that Friday," or towards the end of creation, the creation's account, "we were stripped of the bright nature we had and did not continue in the garden after our transgression more than 3 hours. But on the evening, you made us come out of it, Most High. We transgressed against you 1 hour, and all these trials and sorrows have come upon us until this day." Or in one moment, and those days together with this, the 43rd day, do not redeem that 1 hour in which we transgressed. Man, Adam's like, we've been out here suffering. You got to think about this. those early days of transgression against like their punishment of the transgression was probably very, very difficult, and they probably felt like very long days. It's like, I imagine their sense of time was very different. Remember, they were afraid of the sun when they first saw it, so they're just now getting used to the sun. So they probably still feel some type of way even about the sun, even though they know, that's something that they got to deal with now. They still probably feel some type. Just think about it, like you ain't over that in 40 days. The sun still amazes me to this day, and it's been decades I've been on the planet. So they saying, man, 1 hour. Adam's like, man, all this, it was just one moment. And then for all these days that we've transgressed, that had to be enough, right? For this one moment. All right. And those days, together with this 43rd day, do not redeem that 1 hour which we transgress. O Most High, look upon us with the eye of pity. Have mercy on us. And do not require us according to our transgression of your commandment in presence of you, or in presence of thee, or as we knew we should have done better because your spirit was there. O God, give us the fruit of the tree of life that we may eat of it and live, and not turn to see sufferings and other trouble in this earth, for you are God. So he's saying, let us eat off the tree of life that we may eat of it and live, and not have to see these sufferings. He's like, please let us get back to where we're supposed to be. Okay? So when we transgress your commandment, you made us come out of, hold on, wait a minute. Okay, yeah, I'm in the right place. You made us come out of the garden, and you did send that cherub, or you sent that blocker to keep the tree of life, lest we should eat thereof and live, and know nothing of faintness after we transgress. In other words, let's say if they had ate from the tree of life after they had transgressed and they were living forever. Remember, now this is very interesting because I didn't talk this up. Remember in Genesis, what the Spirit of the Most High says, he's like, yo, unless they should eat of the tree of life and become like us in split mind, meaning it's in their transgressed state, they eat of that tree of life, and then they live forever in a transgressed state. We cannot let that happen. We can't let that happen. That goes to show you right there, humanity is going to come back full circle. Why? Because we can't let you go on. Because at some point, we're going to have to deal with the state of being that humans have been in, and it's going to get raised up. You cannot continue in that transgressed state forever, but you and your kind are going to walk it out, because that's how the lessons come down the pipeline in this place that you are living in right now. I don't even know how else to say it. So, so you made us come out of the garden, and you sent the cherub to keep the tree of life, which we should eat, lest we should eat thereof, and know nothing of faintness after we transgress. So in other words, we transgress, but we don't know no punishment because we still ate the tree of life. Then that's a blessing to be able to live forever and to have the higher state. But you can't have the higher state and have a split mind. I think that's one of the main parts of the walk with the Spirit of the Creator, is that if you want to have the higher mind, if you want to have the enlightened mind, like light, like what this talks about, light, all this light talk that we keep hearing, if you want to have the mind of the Spirit of the Holy Spirit, which is powerful light, it pierces the darkness, it cleans the room of the darkness. Okay? Then you can't be split mind. You can't be flirting with darkness. You can't be flirting with evil. You can't be flirting with the things that are bad for humanity, and and we know they're bad for humanity. But then yet and still you want to have the heightened state. You want to have the higher state. You want to be of the most high. You want to be of the spirit of the creator, but you still want to trifle and roll around in the mud, in the crap and the mud mixed with each other. You can't tell which one is the doo-doo and you can't tell which one is the mud. You just want to roll around, but then you want to get up and come and walk in the clean palace and come sit on the throne and command the kingdom with all your boo-boo and mud up on you. That we can't let you do that. Right? Like, it makes sense when you deal with it from that angle. We can't let you do that, human. I'm just saying. So, but now, Most High, behold, we have endured all these days and have borne sufferings. Make these 43 days an equivalent for the 1 hour in which we transgress. So Adam's like, man, like, this should be enough. This should be enough. What we're going through right now, it should be enough. I mean, come on, man. Like, let this be enough. Let's go ahead and jump into chapter 38. It's like it says, when 5,500 years are fulfilled, go back. Listen, you got to catch up to where we are to deal with that 5,500 prophecy. It's very powerful. It's very deep. I'm not going to talk about it here. It's in the videos of the books of Adam and Eve. Go listen to it. After these things, the word of the Most High came to Adam and said unto him, O Adam, remember this is chapter 38. O Adam, as to the fruit of the tree of life for which you asked, I will not give it to you now. But when the 5,500 years are fulfilled, then I will give you of the tree of the, then I will give you the fruit of the tree of life, and you shall eat and live forever, you and Eve, and your righteous seed. Okay, meaning Adam and Eve themselves wasn't gonna literally be there, but it's saying humanity. That's what it just said. But these 43 days cannot make amends for the hour in which you did transgress my commandment. O Adam, or you first man, I gave you to eat of the fig tree in which you did hide yourself. Go and eat of it, you and Eve. Now remember what we just said. Ain't it kind of backwards? I don't know if it was this video or if it was the previous one, but ain't it kind of backwards that all of a sudden you don't want to eat of the provision now because it looks like the fruit in which of the tree in which which it said they hid themselves, but it's just very interesting. They didn't. Now the blessing comes, and you so worried you don't even want to partake in the blessing. That's backwards, human. Now I just sent you this blessing. I just sent you the nutrition that you need. Have at it. So that wasn't going to be enough for them, was it? No, they was going to have to do what? Keep going and getting more. So I imagine that it was for them to understand that tree, you can eat that fruit. Go find more. Because in the first place, they would have dealt with that particular tree or that particular fruit or vegetation, however you want to say it, was in the garden state or in the state of their higher beinghood, if you will. Okay. All right. So I gave you the fig tree. Go and eat of it. I will not deny your request, neither will I disappoint your hope. Therefore, bear up into the fulfillment of the covenant I made with you. In other words, bruh, you're going to have to walk this out. Like I've been saying in these videos over the last several chapters, at least, you're going to have to walk it out, bruh. I don't know what else to tell you. I can do this for you, but I am not fulfilling your punishment for what you did. You have to walk it out. Now, here within, I believe, shows us how powerful and how impactful the human brain and the human spirit and heart is upon the planet, because the transgression was something that was going to have to go long term because of the split of the mind. That's what the Spirit is saying to me now. It was the split of the mind. And before the mind got back to being whole and weaved together and strengthened to understand, to not transgress, even though the humans have just lived many generations of doing whatever they want to do, there's going to be a generation that is not going to transgress. There's going to be a generation, like what Revelation prophesies and said, those virgins, that can be related to not transgressing the Spirit of the Most High. Okay? Men want to make everything about physical sex so much. That's why one of the things when it comes to the Quran, when it gets to talking about the, 12 virgins or however many virgins they get in the afterlife, bro, why would it matter in the afterlife, virgins? That's to trick men here now who are so focused on trying to dominate a woman sexually or to spread themselves all over the planet and make themselves dominant, that's a way you can manipulate them into following your religion or your spiritual way, if you will. Because seriously, think about it. In the next higher state, when you transition from this life to the next, is a virgin only matters for like this physical planet, earth plane. It would only matter for men who are so caught up in wanting to have sexual power and domination over other species or other cultures or whatever. If you understand what I'm saying. So it's just like this whole thing, even with with this whole thing of virgins. Oh, you're gonna have 12 virgins if you do the right thing. Oh, you're gonna have all the virgins, and you're gonna have what? So they just got the females lined up in the afterlife, ready for the men who did. Man, get out of here, bro. I'm sorry, but that's just. Like I said, I'm going to leave my real life commentary of really how I feel. This is not about this is just about me being raw and real right here. And I'm just a researcher and a reader, and I love the scripture. So I've read about these things for decades. I probably could have several degrees in this, high key. If they gave away degrees for how much you read and you stay focused on something, I've been at this for 3 decades. Sure have. Anyhow, let me hurry up and finish this chapter 38, and then I think I'm going to be done here. He says, I will not deny your request, neither will I disappoint your hope. Get up and walk it out, is what he told him. And in the final verse, he says, and God withdrew his word from Adam. You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and do chapter 39 here because I'm gonna go ahead and do chapter 39, then we'll round it out, and then I'll start chapter 40 on the next video. Chapter 39. Adam is cautious, but it's too late. This is a short chapter as well. Then Adam returned to Eve and said to her, arise and take a fig for yourself, and I will take another, and let us go to our cave. So they're outside the cave now. And this is like what I'm saying. Were they out traveling, wandering, trying to see what they could see, maybe a little bit farther from the cave or going different areas from the cave? Then boom, they came across the figs, and now they don't know. Like it says, they like, man, I don't want to eat this. And then again, that goes to show you, these angels, was it literal angels, beings, or was it the higher word coming and impressing on them, and they found what they found and it was good for them? And then we just see sort of like the spiritual metaphor for what happened in the spirit. That's just like the books of Revelation, or I'm sorry, not the books of, but the book of Revelation. When you deal with the book of Revelation, a lot of what you see on the end time prophecies, when you see a lot of the dragons and all these beasts and all these different beings and all these eyes and all this stuff, and there's even a point where it talks about the lion and the virgin and all this stuff. They're talking about constellations in the sky. The literal makeup of the constellations. Virgin equals Virgo. Lion equals Leo. Understand that. Like even all the way back then, they were making reference to how they they charted the sky in that way to help us understand. Just like I told you, labels: Lucifer, Satan, devil, label; God, Lord, label; Leo, Virgo, Aries, label. A label for what? When you deal with the sky, because we know in science the composition of the sky affects the earth and thus affects us, the animals, the tide of the water, the wind, everything. It's true. If you don't know that, look it up. It's facts. So when they were they knew that the sky was an important part of them trying to understand what was going on the planet, and with the sun and with the moon and different things like that. And when you have the learned people that studied these things, they start studying it and they start seeing a pattern after a while. Hey, this bright star, tomorrow night, this star is over here and it's still next to this one, but last night they were down here, now they're up here, and then tomorrow they're over here, and then over here, and then over here, and hey, this thing look like it's going in a circle. So then every time they start seeing certain things, they start saying, hey, well, how can we relate this to what we're trying to say? Oh, well, we'll call that, that looks like a, hey, let's chart those plots. And so they chart a plot. Maybe they chart Sagittarius, which has Orion's belt and all, you know, with the three that's in the angle, and then it's the hunter with the arrow, and it's just like, oh, they chart those little plots of the stars, or the planets and suns and moons, if you will, what we call stars. And when they plot them, hey, this kind of, they have an artist. Look at this. What does that look like to you? What would that be the frame of? Artist sits down and starts making a frame of something. Hey, that's a hunter. Oh, okay. Well, let's call it Sagittarius, the great hunter. Let's relate it to something that we have going on. Okay, cool. Yeah, Sagittarius. All right. That looks like a ram. Let's call that Aries, because now, see, then you're dealing with Roman, right? So Aries is coming from their mythology. Okay, from the head, the top. Why? Because, well, when they were dealing with a certain constellation, they started noticing that certain people, when they were born with certain constellations in the sky, they started having some of the same traits. They started looking alike. They start having some of the same personalities. Maybe they've been a little different, but you're like, hey, you and him was both born in March at different times, but y'all both really need to work on y'all patience, man, because this person over here ain't got that. But y'all two, y'all are highly impatient. And y'all were born around the same time. And y'all kind of look alike and act alike. And y'all walk alike. You notice that? You see what I'm saying? So when you deal with some of these things, understand it. Once you start making these things the idol is the problem. So like what I just said, in the book of Revelation, they deal with this one part that talks about the virgin and the lion, and there's another constellation that deals with it's in this particular prophecy, and you're not gonna see no literal lion and no virgin come together and do what it said in that passage. It wasn't nothing sexual or nothing, but I think it was like something that the virgin lied down with the lion and they had peace with each other, or so it was something like that. Like, you're not going to see a human woman lying down with the literal lion and then that's going to be the sign. If you understand what that passage is saying, it's dealing with the sky. Just like in Revelation, it talks about the blood moons. What's the thing with the blood moon? Well, they're just calling it blood because it's red. So you need to be paying attention to some of these red moons and what's going on around them. And when you have certain things going on around these red moons, and you have other prophecies all being fulfilled around these moons, like these prophecies are being given to you, pay attention to the sky. The skies will tell you. The scriptures talk about the skies telling you all the time. All the time. And now, again, am I telling you here to go bow down to Aries, Pisces, all that? No, I'm not telling you that. I'm just telling you the real raw facts about what we're dealing with, so that you understand deeper and that you don't come across the information and then you literally fight against real life information that you need to help you get through in the last days of Lucifer's system. Because what's happening is we're transitioning from the lower state that humans cause in transgression to being lifted up or enraptured to the higher state. And everybody not going to be there. Everybody's not being enraptured to the higher state. Why? Because everybody's not paying attention to the spirit. You're going to look up and it's going to be a clear-cut definition of those who are separated from what everybody else is doing. And it's not going to look like religion. A lot of people think it's going to be a religious move. It's not a religious move. It will not be a religious move. And what I mean by that is you're not going to find any specific religion at the forefront of what the Most High is doing moving forward. You're not even going to find Black Hebrew Israelites only at the forefront of what he's doing moving forward as far as the religion. But what you will find is those who have the DNA of those people who had that promise in them, who he made that promise with, those chosen people, they will be the ones who will be the quiet shapers and leaders and movers of where this thing is going. And you're just going to look up and they're going to be there. And they ain't going to need no prestige. They're not going to need to be pat on the back. And a lot of the times the average person may not even acknowledge or recognize what that person is. And the spirit knows, oh, that's a high position in my chosen ones. And it won't never be about the position and the notoriety to them. So that was man, that was deep to me. Like, let's keep reading right here because the spirit needed to say that. Let me finish. I'm gonna finish this chapter 39. Arise and take a fig for yourself. I will take another. Let us go to the cave. Then Adam and Eve took each a fig and went towards the cave. The time was about the setting of the sun, and their thoughts made them long to eat of the fruit. But Adam said to Eve, I am afraid to eat of this fig. I know not what may come upon me from it. Did the spirit just tell him to, bro, I gave you this for sustenance. You're not you're not getting away from the punishment for the transgression, bro. I just gave you this to eat. Walk it out, Adam. Adam is so distraught. He still is like, and this just even goes to show you why we have to have patience with each other as humans. We're not perfect. You know, it's just very interesting. We don't always figure it out as quick as we should. You know, and you would think like they're regularly being told directly by the spirit, bro, eat this, it's good for you. And he's still saying, man, I don't even want to eat this junk. In a sense, you're being disobedient still, Adam, because I just told you that this is for you. Now you talking about you don't want to eat it, trying to be righteous, bro. That's fake righteousness, Adam. Or not even so much that it's fake. It's like, bro, what are you doing? It's backwards. Are you being ignorant at this point? Yeah, he's being ignorant because the spirit just told him, yo, you can eat this. And he's ignoring what the spirit told him now. It's still a sort of a twinge of disobedience, if you will. Still kind of trying to do his own thing, make his own way up out of there. But I believe that is the mind that is like the creator's mind in him. Like what the creator said, like they got a mind that's like what's in us. They're like us. That's what it said in Genesis. So I think maybe that's part of it, and that's why they had to walk the transgression out. That's why they couldn't get to the fruit of life at the state that they were in. Now you have to understand something. The creator knew about their lower state and still wasn't choosing it. That's why the creator has access to the spirit of life. And is not going to allow them or Lucifer or nobody else to get access to it before it's time, because you got to walk that junk out, human. Sorry. So Adam wept and stood praying before the Most High, saying, satisfy my hunger without my having to eat this fig. For after I have eaten it, what will it profit me? And what shall I desire and ask of you, Most High, when it is gone? And he said again, I am afraid to eat of it, for I know not what will befall me through it. The spirit has already told Adam to go ahead and eat the figs. It will be good for you for what you need, but you are not getting away from your punishment for slipping away from what I told you to do. And Adam is here praying about the literal blessing and the provision that he got from the spirit. He's here praying if he can actually have it. He's like, I don't want to mess with it. That's very interesting to me. So I'm gonna leave this here. We're gonna jump back to chapter 40 in the next video. And even as I said chapter 40, the second mark said 40 right there. So I know that's where I'm supposed to be. Y'all be blessed, man. Thank you for listening to these. Hit that subscription button. We are coming back with so much more. It's so much more, y'all. It's so much more. Thank you for coming back. Peace.